What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of this podcast entitled Never Again,
Never Forget.
So, if you're familiar with us, then welcome back. But if you're new here, then I am Luisa, your proud Ilocano.
I'm Loie, your feminist Batangueña.
I'm Ashley, also your proud Ilocano.
And I am Saki, advocating for women's rights.
And finally, I'm Kiara, also known as Director Jun Robles Lana. Joke lang! So I'm guessing as we introduce ourselves, you already have a hint of what we are talking about. So today,
But before that, actually, I have a question for the audience. And my question is, if you were a barber, how would you help your community?
Pero bago muna natin sagutin yan, alamin muna natin kung what really happened ba in the movie called The Barber's Tales o Kwento ng Barbero, a movie by director Jun Robles Lana. Pero disclaimer lang muna because this film may be quite sensitive for some people since it tackles what happened during the martial law, specifically about a woman named Marilu.
A few scenarios in the Barber's Tale are said to be based on true stories. However, these stories also include other stories which defy our preconceived ideas of what is true and what is fiction.
So, indeed. So, this story actually tackles more about nung martial law, and it is also said na kahit na paulit-ulit natin ikwento yung story, it will always come back to how the world is always such a selfish place, especially for a woman like me.
Also, actually, the main character, Marilu, is based on the director's mentor, named Marilu Diaz-Abaya. And Marilu is adored by many, and she is known as someone who used filmmaking as a way to show or depict issues during the martial law, especially feminine-centered issues.
So for the quote of the day, I would like to share it. It's, "For most of history, Anonymous was a woman. Doesn't it bother you to think that there may be so many written works out there that are published anonymously or under a man's name, tas yun pala, all along, it was a woman who wrote it?" Let us welcome Francesca Madrid, a Humes 2A student, to share her insights about this quote.
Hello! So, it doesn't bother me because for me, the times that the woman choose to become anonymous is when the society was being unequal. And a lot of things mostly in the past, like unequal rights that everyone should, and they choose to become anonymous in order to be acknowledged.
Wow! Let's go! From Humes yan.
As a humanista.
So, with that one, thank you again, Cheska. That was a really great and thoughtful answer.
For most of history, Anonymous was a woman. This is a quote you can find on chapter 4 of an essay called In a Room of One's Own, written by Virginia Woolf. For the longest time, women have never been valued as much as men, often overlooked and belittled, while men were always put on the tallest pedestal. For a while, women would only publish their work anonymously, or even under a name that is more masculine. An example of this is Jane Austen. Jane Austen is a famous author whose books have touched the hearts of many generations. She once published all her work anonymously. Her work was timeless and certainly has had a big impact on today's literature. The list of women inventors and men inventors are as equally long. But when it comes to women inventing stuff, they are often left out of the picture and not given the credit where credit is due. This is the society that we live in. Unfortunately, even if it is the 21st century, there is still a handful of people who perceive women this way. Though we have come a long way from where we've started, there's still so much that we can improve on.
So, how about you guys? What do you think about the movie? And ano yung naramdaman nyo when watching the movie and after finishing it? Especially as a woman, you know?
I'd have to say it was a roller coaster.
Paano?
Full of emotions. At first, it was okay. Like, what I felt there was not sad. It was like neutral. But as the movie progresses, it shows a lot about how a woman struggled, especially during the times of martial law. And then the ending was so great.
Yeah.
It was
True.
I really like the ending.
like it's something na parang there's nothing much said, but it's said
A lot.
about
Yeah.
it.
Tsaka gusto ko lang i-add sa sinabi ni Loie, yung ending talagang makikita niyo talaga yung Filipino culture doon, like yung pagkakaisa, bayanihan.
Oh my God. Yung sa
Legit.
ending, my favorite part there. Kasi yung sa unang part was, di ba, like yung mga babae doon, protesta sila. Procession.
Nagprosesyon.
The first part was all of the women are nagproprosesyon sa probinsya. Tapos the ending is sila ulit nagproprosesyon bilang as collective solidarity for women. It's really
To help out Marilyn.
yeah, it helped a lot of them talaga, which is like a really good foreshadowing from the beginning and to the end of the story. Yun.
Siguro for me, at first, to be honest, I kind of struggled to get into the movie. Parang naboboard ako at some point. So like, I would stop, tapos tutuloy ko ulit. Pero like, as it progressed, ang dami niyang parang implied meanings and symbolism. Hindi siya sinasabi exactly na ganito yung nangyari. Pero like, they just show it.
Yeah.
Tapos ang dami mong parang anong tawag doon? Like, ma-decode from yung mga lines nila.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about later, yung mga specific scenes na really talked about yung struggles. So, yun, for me, I think it's a film that everyone should watch kasi it's not that famous, no?
Yeah.
Pero ayun, sobrang, I think it's really prevalent, especially nowadays. Kasi kahit nasabihin natin na parang mas woke na yung generation natin, 'di ba? Andun pa rin yung prejudice, yung mga stereotypes, and yung discrimination na na-experience ng mga babae. That's for me. Kaate.
For me naman, I think this movie really speaks for all the women. Like, we always get a lot of negative reactions. Kahit sa simpleng paggupit lang ng buhok.
Yeah,
Oh my
true.
God. Tapos, yun, I could relate it to now. Like now kasi, like personally, like let's say online, I would always go on games. Tapos I would put my name under a man's name.
Oh my God, same.
Diba?
Like, especially sa games na male-dominated, like Valorant. Oh my God, I
Hindi tayo
hate it.
ma-bully, ganyan, or masabihan
Like,
ng
especially, like, kunyari, like, kasabihin mo, like, especially pag mag-voice chat ka, tapos sabihin, babae ka lang,
They're
Like
gonna
that.
always, there was one time when I played Valorant, tapos hindi ko kasama yung mga kuya ko or mga friends kong guys. Tapos nag-on mic ako sa team. Tapos sinabi ko, parang yung location nung kalaban, sinabi ko lang yun. Tapos everyone was like so surprised. Tapos sinabi nila, uy, babae, matatalo
What?
tayo. Girl, I was top fragging that.
Diba, they always find ways kasi to degrade us.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what we do, kahit magaling tayo or not, they always find ways to say
Something
yung mga ganun.
And they're always Andrew Tate wannabe. Girl.
No!
Tapos, for me, okay, not related sa Valorant, pero like, sometimes it's really sad na, especially when like, when someone like degrade you as a woman, pero yung nagde-degrade sa'yo, babae. Yeah, like parang kakapwa
I think
kita.
that hurts me.
That hurts me
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
when a man degrades.
Especially when your mom does it.
But that's a story for another time.
But I really think that everyone should have a friend like Susan from the movie.
True.
Diba?
I love her so much. Yeah, like, like, kasi like, si Susan yung palaging buntis. Oo, yun.
Yeah, ang sad nga nun. Cause like, the thing, kasi si Susan, parang siya yung super dami niyang anak. Kasi daw, yung husband niya gusto ng anak na lalaki. Puro babae. Pero, nung nagkaroon na sila ng anak na lalaki, binubuntis pa rin siya. So like,
Ginagalaw.
parang sex slave in a way. Na ino-objectify siya na just for having kids and for having sex.
I think that's one thing na dapat matanggal na sa ano na to.
Yeah, like yung prejudice na babae ka, dapat magkaasawa ka,
Mag-anak ka.
Kasi pag hindi mo yun ginawa, like hindi ka totoong babae and stuff like that. It's like, parang degrading na
At
thing.
saka, yung part na, di ba, syempre, you're a woman. So, parang ang gusto nila, dun ka lang sa bahay. Household work. Dun ka lang sa kitchen. Make my sandwich. Yung quote na yon. Tapos, kapag mas malaki yung allowance mo or salary mo sa job mo kaysa sa asawa mo, parang,
degrading for them.
sila pa yung magagalit sa atin. Like, wag ka na mag-work, ako na lang.
oo.
Girl,
Oo. I
ano
think
naman kami?
pwede yun i-relate dun sa scene. Alala niyo yung na yung best friend ni Jose, yung husband ni Marilu, yung nagpatayo din siya ng barbershop.
Si Ompong?
Yes.
Yeah, oo.
Yeah, oh my God. Diba? Kasi in that part, namatay yung asawa ni Marilu, si Jose. So, diba, Jose is a barber. So, with that one, si Ompong, nagpatayo rin ng barbershop. Tapos, etong si Susan, nagayat kay Ompong, kasi like, parang wala daw hiya si Ompong na nagpatayo daw siya ng barbershop. Tapos, ikakompetensya niya yung asawa ni Jose, si Marilu. Tapos, ayun, nagalit si Ompong na sinabi niya dapat wala daw babae ang barbero. Tapos sinabi niya kay Marilu na babae ka lang, dapat ang mga barbero lalaki.
Pero that really backfired kasi makikita natin in parts of the movie, parang may mga tao na magsasabi doon na hindi naman magaling maggupit si Ompong, parang pangit yung barber niya. Kaya
So wala yun sa gender basically.
It's about, men, their ego being hurt. Just like, damn. Ayun. And like, and in that movie, what I realized is the reoccurring theme na sinasabi, babae ka lang. Like, women in that movie are so belittled, especially yung asawa ni Mayor, si Cecilia.
Oh my gosh. Let's talk about Cecilia.
Yeah, let's talk about her. Kayo, may kukwento ba kayo kay Cecilia?
Yung scene na yan talaga, it was very hurtful.
The cliff? Oh my God, true.
Very emotional.
Yeah, yung sa cliff kasi, si Marilu and Cecilia were talking about, especially yung kay Cecilia and what's happening with her, na she gets abused by Mayor, tapos hindi siya makapanganak sa isang, kid. She's barren, yeah.
Diba, like, she was talking to Marilu. And then Cecilia was, since her husband, the mayor, was already practically boasting about his mistress. So, what Cecilia did, she confronted her husband and said that pag hindi niya tinigilan, she's gonna reveal all his dirty secrets, which led to the mayor abusing her. And that's when it started talaga. And then, ayun nga sa cliff part, when Cecilia told Marilu about that, after telling her, she kissed Marilu, and then all of a sudden, she jumped off.
So, she committed suicide.
Tapos sabi niya pa, yun yung favorite place niya, diba? So parang, what if she's contemplating it like so many times, pero yun lang yung time na decided na siya, kaya tumanan siya.
Pero that's one way to escape that,
hellish role sa,
It's
sa
just so
bahay.
sad.
during talaga nung time na yun, kasi wala ka talaga makakakampi doon, lalo na kapag babae ka.
Especially pag
Kahit siya nga na asawa niya yung mayor, pero yun yung nangyari sa kanya.
Kasi like, it shows na pag-asawa ka ng isang mataas, kunya like from government official, it doesn't mean na mayaman ka agad, like magaling na yung
They
yung
just
pwesto
well
mo.
off
because
ka.
of your husband.
Yeah. Pero wala ka pa ding power all in all.
Parang yung worth nila binibase din sa asawa nila.
True.
So,
Kayo, may insights pa kayo?
Ako, I don't know if ako lang, pero what I interpreted kasi the movie and what siguro I liked about it is the gradual woman empowerment or yung pagkakaisa ng babae na pinakita. At first, it was only Marilu, then sumunod yung friends niya, then yung prostitute, diba? Yung kapatid ng isang friend
Si
ni
Rosa.
Edmond. Yeah.
Si Rosa, oh my God.
Tapos, in the end, lahat na sila. Nagka-isa-isahan. And I really liked about it na parang hindi, it doesn't look forced.
Yeah.
Hindi siya pinamukha talaga. It was very gradual.
Yeah, tsaka parang little by little, yung with the things that were happening, parang na-open yung mind niya. So kahit at first parang di ba against sila kay Edmond, yung
sa mga
pagtago
rebel.
kay Edmond, ganyan. Pero
ayaw
in
nilang
the-
mapahamak
Oo,
na.
pero in the end, nagtulungan din lahat sila. So, ayun, so nice.
Tsaka for me talaga, yung pinaka-related or relatable character natin doon, Susan.
True. I really love her for that. And the fact na she narrated yung story niya.
Yeah.
Marilu
Makes it even
sa-
better.
Yeah.
Like, she was always supportive of
Yeah.
Marilu. Kahit niya din sa pagtatago kay Edmond.
At saka yung time na parang medyo nag-aaway na si Marilu at saka yung isa niyang
Si
friend.
Tess.
Si
Oo.
Tess. walang sinide si Susan doon. Like, she was both
No bias.
comforting. Yeah, they were
Yeah.
comforting both of the parties.
True. Really
Also,
love
the
that.
freebie Binka when like
Ay,
she
oo,
was starting her job.
Yeah, true. Real.
She was promoting na may freebie Binka, basta
Magpagupit kayo, oh. Yes. Yun, like, parang with that one, like, it started all with, like, Marilu and Susan being, like, really together forever. Tapos, ayun, like, like, parang nag-spread sa, sa buong province na lahat ng babae nagtipon-tipon para makaalis lang si Marilu. Imagine, like, for one woman na makaalis ng isang probinsya para hindi lang siya mapatay. All of them help, all of them, nagkabayanihan. And it's really inspiring talaga, especially babae kaming lahat. And with the government right now, yun, it's just inspiring na we do hope na there are more people, especially women, to stand against what's happening in the real world, especially with their rights being abused. Yun.
Actually, parang hindi pa nga natanggal yung pagkaka-degrade ng woman sa society ngayon. Kasi, I actually really don't want to talk about this, pero since parang mostly political naman topic natin, siguro pwede namang i-open up. Naalala niyo yung presidential elections, di ba sila?
Oh, true.
Oh my gosh. Ang lahat na lang na naririnig ko sa mga matatandang tao, pati doon sa province namin, parang sinasabi nila, babae sila, hindi nila yan kaya.
Oh my God,
Pang-leader daw dapat
Yeah.
lalaki. Lalaki
So,
lang.
Based on that, I think we can insert the quote na parang, remember when, like, yung Tara and Marilu was talking?
Yeah.
Then Marilu said, sinubukan ko naman, pero walang may gustong magtiwala sa babae.
Yeah, Barbero. True.
At during the elections, ayun din kasi narinig ko, na parang babae kasi sila.
Babae. Like for me, like what I've heard from my own personal family, since, they were like BBM and stuff like that. Like, they were like, babae lang yan sila. Like, women get too emotional.
Yeah.
And,
They're
like,
very
parang,
dramatic.
damn, you're saying that na sa anak mong babae na who aims to be, like, political and, like, damn, like, especially coming from a family. Okay.
That's
bahala
what
sila.
my mom said then, no? Like, she really wants a leader who's tough. Tapos I'm like, Lenny's tough. And she's like, no, she's a woman.
Yeah.
What do you mean she's a woman?
Super upsetting nun marinig, lalo na sa family.
Yeah, true.
Yun. But at the end of the day, I'm so happy na my mom voted for Lenny. Kasi she decided na she won't vote for her own president, but she would vote for her family.
Nice. Sana all.
Ano all ng parents?
Christ in Ilocano.
Uy, BBM pa
Ilocano
naman yun.
BBM.
So, ayun. Di ba may question pa si Loie?
Wala na ba kayo pang ibang insights?
Ako wala.
You didn't answer my question though.
What's your question?
I told y'all earlier, like, if you were a barber, how would you help your society?
You know, why don't we call on someone muna to answer that question?
Oo nga.
Let's call on Mil Sales
And Jade.
and Jade.
Okay, my question is, if you were a barber, how would you help your community?
So kung ako magiging barbero, paano ko matutulungan yung aking komunidad? Firstly, bigyan ko ng free haircut yung mga tao yung komunidad, especially yung mga bata. Pag halimbawa, required sa school sa kanila yung mga haircuts na kailangan, mga 2x3 ganun. Tutulungan ko, mga matatanda, yung mga in need. Wala naman kasi ako ganong ma-offer as barber, pero ganun lang. And if kaya kong makatulong sa iba, kahit outside of work na, pwede ko silang tulungan kung ano kaya kong magbigay. So yun lang naman.
Yay! Thank you!
Good answer.
Kasi Sales na.
I'm on the same mind with Jade. If I were a barber, I'd give free haircuts to students and the elderly. First for students because they don't earn money yet. They live off the allowance of their parents, and for the elderly because most of them are retired, they're living off their retirement money, and I'd rather they enjoyed that. And so that's how I'd help the community. I mean,
Another question. So, since lalaki ka, I'd like to know your insights. Kung ikaw siguro magiging si Marilu, anong gagawin mo sa situation na gano'n?
in which situation? Kasi she was in many situations.
Yung situation na parang hindi nila trust si Marilu kasi na babae siya, wala siyang masyadong
So I take the kinder approach. I'd earn their trust. I'd earn their trust by showing them what I can do and showing them what I can offer. And I'd be patient and I'd wait for the process to do the work itself.
Ito, may question ako. Di ba si Marilu naging rebelde? Kung siya pumunta sa'yo for asking for help, tutulungan mo ba? Isang babae na rebelde.
Yes, because I don't, doesn't matter to me if it's a woman or if it's a man, it's a human being, and I'd always offer my help to anyone who needs it. And regardless if they can pay me back, I don't need to ask for anything in return. Because if I were in her situation, I'd be hoping that a random person would help me as well.
Wow! Kasi ka mas yung student.
From humanista.
Okay, so, any more questions?
Wala na?
Check nyo yung channel ko, guys. Pakinggan yung dark R&B songs ko. Di joke lang siya. Linod ko pa yung channel ko.
Like the guests answered our questions, why don't we answer our question? Like if we were a barber, how would we help our community?
Would you cut my hair?
May naisip kami ni Louie.
Joke lang.
Diba? Yung for every customer, iipunin namin yung hair. Hanggat sa maging wig, tapos i-donate namin.
And pwede naman siguro na half of the profit that we earn from the barber's haircut business, pwede din naming i-donate.
Charity. Yes, to charity.
Kayo, may answers ba kayo sa question na yun? Ano? Sige ako na okay. For me, what I would do is that parang I would like parang give my, if they want lang, optional lang naman. If they want to learn, parang like to cut their hair by their own. Ayun, like parang, for me kasi, during the pandemic, I cut my own hair every year. So ayun, so parang like, I learned by myself and parang like, if someone wants to cut their hair and parang learn it, I would give it for free since hair can be a form of self-expression to oneself. Ayun.
True.
Okay, yung, that's great.
Ako pa, charot.
So,
Ano ko lang, is,
Para kita
Yung sa story kasi, yung problem nila was that si Jose, siya lang yung barber sa town. So, nung namatay na siya, they were all worrying na they had to go visit another town just to get a haircut. So, my solution naman for that would be like a mobile haircut business na parang sila na yung pupunta, lalo na sa mga parang secluded areas na para may easier access sa haircut.
Then you did mention kanina to like teach people, diba?
Yeah, that was my answer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Ayun. Kayo?
No. My question, my answer. For me personally, I told Louisa this the other day when I told her about the question. I said that it actually doesn't matter kung anong occupation meron ka. If barber ka, activist ka, construction worker, etc. As long as you know your duties as a Filipino and you're willing to sacrifice for its future.
Humanista yan!
Pero, siguro we're missing the most important topic natin ngayon. Historical revisionism.
Wow, let's talk about that.
Historical revisionism.
Kayo? I mean, election promise. It's like parang most of our history was like revised during the election, especially anak pa siya ni BBM?
Sino?
Bongbong? Si Bongbong?
Yeah.
Oh,
Anak?
patay na yun.
Ay, okay. Sorry di ko. So, si Bongbong Marcos, diba, father niya si Ferdinand. So like, political dynasty is present.
Oh no.
Yeah. And ayun, like, it just sucks na BBM won by misinformation and historical revisionism.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of older people voted for BBM was saddening because like they would believe all of those like lies and misinformation spread online, especially sa Facebook. Like,
dami na.
yeah, like it's really saddening na ang bilis makalat ng mga misinformation and like people would like blindly accept those information or truths kumbaga. And with that one, hindi lang kasi hindi lang kasi ikaw yung maapektuhan eh. Buong bayan maapektuhan eh. Not even the bayan, but the future as well. And with that one, it's just really selfish na you would think about your own stance, but than rather thinking about the other people, especially yung mga kababataan, since sila yung maghirap in the future, you know.
Can I add to that?
So yeah.
Because that was actually last week's thesis paper. That was our thesis paper. Elections was our topic, and in the elections we observed that the credibility is questioned, and fake news was a very, very big issue, social media and in real life. And one of the recommendations we added was proper education to the people regarding the candidates, their backgrounds, left or right, bad or good.
True.
I think the Philippines needs that because it's lacking that actually. Most people vote for who they hear is gonna be a good president, not because of what they know. In fact, they don't know.
True. Kayo?
Yung sa akin naman, I wanna share lang. My dad, he's not here. He's in Canada, but he rooted for BBM. Because when he was here in the Philippines, he personally knew BBM. Like, he was working in an apartment. Like, yung dad ko, he was cleaning there. Tapos si BBM, he would go to my dad and then tell him to rest. And then he would give him food. So, like, that's what made my dad like BBM. But he doesn't know na, you know, may pagka-incompetent si BBM. Like, he wanted to see BBM as what BBM showed him.
Yeah.
Like, he's generous. Ganun.
Can
So,
I
I
ask
think
which
a lot
BBM?
of
The son or the father?
the president now.
Oh, the president now.
So, ang tagal naman nun.
Sorry.
So, like, I think people tend to, like, put the past behind, or, like, they try to overlook yung mga mistakes. Ganon.
Speaking of that, ano yung ni-move ni Bongbong na holiday?
It's a revolution. True.
Yeah.
That really sparked like controversy.
Historical
from-
definition. Oh my God.
Yeah, like,
I may add lang
Okay.
a personal experience. Kasi yung family ko, Ilocano kami. So, obviously, buong family ko, as in BBM sila. Like, ako lang yung kanila. And when I was younger, syempre, like, hindi pa ako aware ng nangyari. So, they would tell me stories about what happened during the martial law. And ngayon, na alam ko na what's true, sobrang nakaka-shock lang. Yung parang tingin nila, they were all saying na, munlad yung Pilipinas naman, sobrang tahimik namin. Pero that's just in Pangasinan or like Ilocos region. What more yung other parts ng Pilipinas? So like, sobrang saddening lang na even if ngayon, when I try to tell them about what's actually true, what's actually happening, sobrang close-minded nila. So parang, I think it's up to us then ngayon as the youth na we know what's right, we know what's true. It's our duty to share that knowledge with other people. Kasi, yung mga ganun na simpleng kwento lang, simpleng share lang ng experience, it can really affect yung views ng isang tao about someone.
Like what Jose Rizal said, ang kabataan ay ang
pag-asa ng bayan.
For me, parang sad ako because I'm very open about my political stance, especially nung election. And apat kasi kami magpipinsan on my mother's side. And ako yung second na oldest. Tapos tatlo kami very supportive of Lenny. And then yung isa was apolitical pero leaning towards BBM. And kaming tatlo, we did everything that we could to educate her. Binigay namin ng sites, ganun. Pero in the end, she still voted for BBM. And I think it's also because of family pressure. Since buong pamilya niya is BBM din.
Oo, tsaka lalo na like ako, binabash talaga ako. Like sinasabi, sabi na dilawan daw.
Like pag like it's always pag di ka BBM, dilawan ka na agad or like communist ka daw. Yun.
Communist. Like, hello?
Saan naman galing? Ayun. Kayo? Pero
Nung pamilya ko kasi, iba-iba eh. Yung magulang ko kasi parehong BBM, tapos yung mga ate ko, Lenny. Ako kasi parang neutral lang kasi. Ako, hindi pa ako open nun sa mga politics, ganun. Tapos parang ako kung sino man manalo, yun na. Kasi yun yung binoto majority ng mga tao. Tapos, pag minsan, pag kaming dalawa lang natin or kaming apat lang, minsan nag-share sila tungkol kay Lenny. Yun nga, pag kami naman dalawa ng mama ko, kasi hindi kami gaano close ng papa ko. May times din na pag close. Nag-uusapan din nila kung anong pinatayo ni BBM, ganyan. Kaya nung dumating yung voting nila, parang sila mama at papa muna unang umalis, tapos sunod sila ate kasi ayaw nila makita na parang magkasabay sila tapos iba-iba naman yung iboboto. So parang ganoon nga din, family pressure. Since minor pa ako, parang hindi pa ako pwede bumoto. Next election pa ako makakaboto. Pero yun nga, wala naman akong hate sa candidates, kay Lainey or kay Bibi. Wala naman akong pakialam sa pa. Kung sino man din nga, like I said, kung sino man manalo, ganun. Talagang wala naman perfectong bansa. Talagang nagkakataon na parang may problemang ganito. Hindi lang sa totoong buhay, sa social media rin. Kaya ako parang sa ganitong bagay, ini-ignore ko na lang. As long as it's not harming me. Ayun lang.
So, based on what you said and what Ashley said, talaga, family pressure is a big issue here sa Philippines.
Yeah.
Not only here.
Kasi like,
Pero I think, what hurts more, like, you have to say different stances, right? Parang mas, for me, what hurts more is being apolitical. Especially, ang dami ko kasi din kakilang apolitical.
Yeah,
and
true.
then, like, what they say usually is parang, it's nonsense to get into Philippine politics kasi bulok naman na yung bansa.
Yeah, true.
And parang, gee, don't you care? Like, parang about the future na parang,
we should care kasi it affects
At saka ito, so let's talk about the present, so the now. Grabe. The present, the now. Legit. Yung opinions, yung pag-vote nung grandparents ko kay Bongbong Marcos, it really backfired sa kanila kasi ngayon takot na sila kasi di ba may parang news na parang may pinatay na broadcaster dahil is very vocal ganun, and now parang takot na sila na parang palagi nila ako nire-remind na, uy, Cham, or uy, Luisa, wag kang masyadong maging vocal about politics ngayon. Make sure na kapag may kilala kang may wag mo silang lapitan or whatever. Don't say any of your ideas on public kasi baka magaya ka sa kanila. So like, is martial law really coming back or something?
Oh my God, like one time, kasi at first, my family didn't want me to apply sa UP kasi nga, mga aktivista sila. And it like saddens me na parang, like UP is really generalized as mga aktivista sila, And it like saddens me na parang, even your own family wants to silence you. Like, gets ko naman na parang they want to protect you. But at the same time, you have your own life
yeah.
Kasi like with that one, yung sa Barber style, si Edmond, diba? Si Edmond tapos yung tita niya. They really clash together. Kasi nga, yung tita, gusto niya mag-aral si Edmond peacefully. Tapos, si Edmond naman, gusto maging aktivista to fight for the right. And that one, it really shows ang society ngayon, especially with the parents and with their children, na very vocal and active sa society. Like what will you put more? Your family or yung bayan mo? Because sometimes those two really feels heavy in your weight na parang, anong unahin ko? Pamilya ko or yung aking bayan? It really clashes until now.
Makes people wish na your family would put the people first, the country first.
Yeah. Kayo, may LG insights pa kayo? Or nasabi na ba lahat?
Okay na.
Sabi naman kayo.
Yeah.
Like Barber's tale and the topic, the symbolism of the movie is really heavy. Especially in these times na, it's about mga
It's something still being debated about.
Yeah, like being debated about, being argued. And like, it's just still prevail na parang it's really ingrained sa history natin. Like, di talaga siya makakalimutan. It will never be forgotten. Like, nagdun na siya. It happened. And there's still a lingering worry na it might happen in the future, and the history might repeat itself. But the thing is, it's up to the people, especially sa mga kababataan na it's up to them to change the history and make it better for themselves and for the country as a whole. Yun.
So overall, we really do recommend this movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for the Filipinos, lahat na ng Filipinos, please watch Barber.
If I may add, sorry. Add ko lang, like, kasi di ba parang may argument na past naman na yan, parang stop dwelling on the past. Pero yun nga it happened na, so we should learn from it, just like what Zen said, so that it won't happen again.
Yeah, like there's a quote from Ambeth Ocampo, and he said, "History does not repeat itself; it is we who repeat history."
True.
Nadali mo.
Yun. That's our whole takeaway. Yeah, so like that's our whole takeaway, insights and opinion about Barber's Tale.
Yes, go watch it.
Kwento ng isang barbero, directed by Jun
10 out of
Robles
10.
Lana. It's really good, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
True.
Like, it can be easily watched like sa YouTube, lang. Yeah, like sa YouTube lang siya. Promise.
All watch more.
Yeah, and it's malinaw pa.
Yeah. Ayun, like, it should be watched. It's a must watch, to be honest.
Pati yung actors, madadala ka sa emotions yung actors.
Yeah.
Ayun. And you know, speaking of films, Filipino films should be brought back again.
Especially about our history.
Yes.
Hindi na yung mga may kabit-kabit.
Ulit na lang. Like, stop
Forbidden relationship.
Kabit, like, stop it. Like, I think we should dwell more on our culture to enrich yung mga bata
We
on
need
our
more
culture.
representation.
Yeah. You know, representation matters in every media that we consume.
Yeah.
To
So you should
educate.
go watch our other episodes. Wow! Kasi diba may
Ayun. Ay, ka
we talk about other films then and about different issues then.
Yun.
And we should support Filipino artists, not
Yeah.
Support local.
Like, you know, like Sayles, I heard he's a good artist.
Wow, nag-vlog.
So is that all? Does anyone want to add pa?
Kaya, wala na.
Okay, so once again, this has been an episode of Never Again, Never Forget. So bye-bye.